All right, so there's a couple things that we need to remember before we start learning about multiplying binomials, which is what this chapter is about. So if you see these examples right here, we have 5y times 2y. When we multiply those two things, that's saying 5 times 2, and that's y times y. Now 5 times 2, pretty simple, we can say that's 10. But y times y, if there's nothing there, we can assume that the exponent we have is 1. Now, since we're multiplying and they have the same base or a common base, we're going to add the exponents. We're going to add exponents. So y1 times y1, that means 1 plus 1, which is y to the power of 2. Same thing applies on this other one. We can separate out the numbers, so 5 times negative 0.4, and then z3 times z5. So 5 times negative 0.4 would be equal to negative 2, while z will be c3 times z5. That's just 3 plus 5. So this should be z to the power of 8. And then we'll throw in a couple fractions in there as well. We have b6 times b3. So negative 1 over 9 times negative 7 over 8, we multiply straight across. So that should be, and that first becomes a positive 7. So that's 1 times 7 and 9 times 8, which is 72. So 7 over 72. And then b6 times b3, that's just going to be 6 plus 3, which is 9. So knowing all this, let's look at some of our problems here. Now, so what we can do here, when we're multiplying these two things, there's a better way to organize it by just what I would call the box method. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take each of these and we're going to multiply it out. So we have x minus 3 times x squared minus 6x plus 1. So let's start with the first box. That should be x times x squared. That is going to be x to the power of 3. Remember, we add the exponents. Then we have negative 3 times x squared. So that's negative 3x squared. Then we have negative 6x times x is going to be negative 6x squared. Negative 6 times negative 3 is going to be positive 18x. Then at the end we have 1 times x, which is x, and 1 times negative 3, which is negative 3. Now to write out our answers, what we're going to do is we're going to combine our like terms. We start off with the first one, x cubed. There's nothing else there, so that's it. Then we have negative 3x squared and negative 6x squared. So we can combine these two right here, which ends up at negative 9x squared. And then we have our second set, which is 18x plus 1x, which is going to be 19x. And then we don't have any other number left, so we have negative 3. And that would be our answer. Now, when we have something like this, where we have squared, we're tempted to say that that's going to distribute into everything that's there. But what that actually means is that we have 4a plus 3b, and we're going to multiply that 2 times. So what this means is we're actually going to do 4a plus 3b so that's 4a times 4a is 16a squared. Then 4a times 3b is 12ab. 4a times 3b is 12ab. And 3b times 3b is 3b squared.